Hello and happy Thursday. Today is an exciting day because we're going to start something new, a new topic. So I'm very excited and pumped. Yay, let's learn about shading. So this is a visual. This is supposed to be like a light or a sun. And based on where an object is positioned next to the one light source, it's going to look different. So this apple is on this side positioned, and you can see a little cast shadow, but the apple is pretty blown out. You don't see a lot of shading. So that's really important to understand compared to the apple at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock or this is like 4 or 5 o'clock. Look how dark you can see the back side of the apple on this one, and so on based on the position of this apple. So that's something that we're going to start to talk about and understand the fundamentals and the philosophy of shading. It is so important that when we are drawing our three-dimensional letters to understand this shading before we start. And so we're going to be taking notes today. I put, please get out a paper and a pencil, and then we will get started on the slideshow. So I'm going to go ahead and give everyone 30 seconds to go get some paper and a pencil.
Ms. Brown, does it gotta be line paper or just like regular paper?
If you have blank paper, I would prefer blank paper. If you don't have blank paper, you do the best you can with lined. But I think lined is very distracting, so I would prefer white paper. You could do this with the first page inside your sketchbook if you would like. Everybody should have picked up a sketchbook, so everybody should have white paper available. Good question. Thank you, Leroy. When you have everything ready, please select yes on the poll so that I know we're ready to go. I don't want to jump ahead. I'm trying to provide everyone with appropriate class time today. Now, yesterday, everybody should have submitted their cover design, and I will work with you guys one at a time, and we will discuss and see if everything is correct before we ever start shading. So nobody shades until I say so. Right now, we're just learning about shading. So Ms. Brown does baby steps so that nobody falls behind. So everybody should have that white paper. If you don't have white paper, then use lined paper or use the first page of your sketchbook, and you're going to need a pencil. I still am waiting on several students to click yes that they have their material. I'm waiting on 10 students. Good. Now I'm only waiting on 5 students. So there's a handful that are still, oh good, I just got 2 more. Very good. I don't want to call people out by name, but I'm trying to give you a sufficient amount of time, but I'm waiting on 3 more students to get out a piece of paper. Thank you. And a pencil. You probably want to sharpen that pencil. Okay, we're going to do this in baby steps today. So I made this highlighted slideshow presentation on shading, or you could just click this image. I made that a hyperlink. At least it should be. Oh, maybe I didn't. Ha. Is this? There we go. Okay, so I found this really interesting photograph of a drawing, and all of this is a flat piece of paper. I don't know if you guys realize that, but because this person has been studying lighting and the direction of light and how cast shadows appear, they were able to manipulate this boring piece of gray paper into something that looks very dimensional. and it's not. It's a flat piece of paper. So if you really get into this, you can do some great, interesting, amazing things just by the fundamentals that I'm going to cover with you. So right now you're not taking notes, you're just listening. We will be drawing together and I'll project what to write and what to draw, but I do need you all, paying attention. Artists can create the illusion of three-dimensional form on a surface that is two-dimensional. They can give the impression of depth and solidity by using changes in value. We're going to learn what value means. Now I'm going to butcher this name, forgive me. Artemisia Gentileschi was a Baroque artist who used the arrangement of contrasting light and dark to create a dramatic effect in her work. Notice how the light seems to be coming from a single candle. And that candle is right here where her hand is. So you see an awful lot of light here. And then behind that, you see an awful lot of darkness. So playing with light and dark on fabric, in paintings and drawings, this is an art that is very challenging, and artists study this all throughout their careers. And this happens to be a very impressive one. And this is a female artist from back in 1625. This is oil on canvas. The arrangement of light and shadow is called chiaroscuro. In Italian, chiaro means bright, and oscuro means dark. Chiaroscuro was introduced by Italian artists during the Renaissance. Today, chiaroscuro is often called modeling or shading. I'm going to close that so it's not in our way. Look, for instance, at an object with angular surfaces, such as a cube. You will see a large jump in value. This word we haven't talked about, and we're going to learn more about it. Large jump in value from one surface of the cube to the next. One surface may be very light in value and the next very dark. So value is the shades and lightness of a hue. Hue is a color, and we're going to talk more about that. Right now, we're working in just shades and lightness of gray with the graphite pencil. So you can see light. This would be a number 1 value. A medium would be like these little side corners. That's a 2 value. This is a number 3. Here's a number 4. This is slightly darker. That's a number 5. And this deep dark, that's a number 5 value. So we're going to learn about value scales, and we're going to draw those eventually. Now look at an object such as a baseball. The curved surfaces of spheres and cylinders show gradual changes in value. The area of a curved surface that reflects the most light is, of course, the lightest in the drawing. So this is the highlights. Are small areas of white used to show the very brightest spots. Starting at the highlights, the value changes gradually from light values of gray to dark values of gray. The darkest values are used to show areas that receive the least light. An area that is turned completely away from a light source is almost black. So that's right in here, that almost black area. The qualities of shading. This is what we're going to be talking about. Shading is the gradation of tone or the merging of one shade or value into another. There are 5 aspects of shading that help to create a three-dimensional illusion in a drawing. So what we're going to do today, guys, I'm going to pause this really quick, and we are going to draw this. So let me see if I can't. Usually this is a worksheet, but because we are not live together and I can't count on the fact that everybody has a printer, we're going to just draw it, which is fine. I enjoy drawing and demonstrating step by step. Okay. So I'm just going to grab my paper real quick and get this out of my way. And let me put my chihuahua down. Ugh, he's heavy. He's always wanting to be on my lap. He's like a cat. Oh, Giz will calm down. He's mad. He's like, how dare you put me down? I'm so embarrassed. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so here's my piece of paper. Oh, hopefully he calms down. What I would like for you all to do is, first of all, put your name at the very top corner. Oh, I'm gonna have to close the door. Mrs. Brown. And then put what period you're in. Period 4. Good, he's calming down. That's an angry chihuahua. And then what I would like for us to do, let me see if I can get back to that first slide. We're going to title this Qualities of Shading. Yes?
I'm sorry, you cut out for a little bit on my end. I couldn't hear you for a little bit.
Can you see what I'm doing?
Yeah, I see.
Then you just write your name and period and qualities of shading.
Okay. And do you want me to put my last name as well?
Yes, I do. That's how I'm going to be grading these. I love questions. Ah. Okay. So what I would like for us to do now, may I move on? Do you think I gave you guys enough time to write your name and qualities of shading?
Not yet.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to draw in the bottom corner, so halfway down from my piece of paper. I'm going to zoom out a bit. Halfway down is right about here. I want you to draw a horizontal line to about the middle of the page. Watch me. Right about there. And then I'm going to draw this. So I'm just making like a square with the corner. So I'd like everybody to do that. Halfway down. When you're done with these 2 steps, I would like for you to just give me a yes or a thumbs up.
We do that in the middle of the page.
It's a little bit less than middle. I put my finger in the middle so that, I could stop myself.
Okay.
Like your hand goes in the middle. That's how I gauged it. Because we're going to take notes on all of this and we're going to draw together. Good question. This was the middle right here. And this paper's horizontal. I don't know if that's hard to tell. It looks like it's a little cut off here, so maybe that helps. Maybe I should put colored paper under here. So 15 of you are done and have given me the yes. Now 20. Now 26. So we're just waiting on a few more people. And yes, you are photographing this at the end. So that's important that you're following along. Oh, Gizmo. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is draw a circle. Now, I want you to hold your pencil like you're about to drop it. I don't want you to hold it like this. Hold it like this, like you're about to drop it. 4 fingers on one side and the thumb on the other. Ah, I'm going to drop it. It's going to be lightly in your hand, and you're going to hold it towards the end of the pencil. Now, in the air, I'm exercising how to draw a circle lightly. When you hold your pencil closer to the end, it's going to be darker. We don't want dark. We want it to be lighter. So we're going to hold it as far as we can on our pencil end. So it's kind of limp in our hand. And we're practicing drawing in the air. Now watch me first. I'm going to practice, and I want to do a circle with about an inch around each side, which isn't perfect. So watch me first. I'm going to lightly, oh, that's too small. Now I'm going to go a little bit bigger, and I'm barely going round and round until I'm happy with the size. And you go the opposite direction. This is called sketching. And sketching is very light and loose. And you go round and round very lightly. Now it's your turn. When you're done, give me a check mark that yes, you are done. So you practice holding it at the end with 4 fingers on one side and the thumb on the other. You practice lightly doing a circle in the air. And then in the air, you kind of get an idea of how you want to rotate. And then you lightly start grazing the paper.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
if you don't come out like a perfect circle like yours, is it okay?
You just keep going until it is a perfect circle. You kind of modify, go in different directions, lightly and loosely. Yes, we're trying to get a perfect circle. That's why I have so many lines. If I hold this up closer to you, you can see I did a lot of lines to get a pretty good looking circle. Okay. We don't want it to look like an egg. We want it to look round, and we want to give space around all the sides. I'm teaching you how to sketch. So far, I only have 6 of you done. Now 9. You always want a flat surface, like a clipboard or a notebook to draw on that doesn't have lumps and bumps. We want things nice and smooth. You always want to be nice to your paper. My dog is upset because I woke him from a nap. Now he's barking at me, telling me to be quiet. It's funny. He's got mad attitude. I wish I could sleep all day and night. The life of a dog and cat, I tell you. Okay, now we have 21 of us done. Waiting on a few more. You're not pressing hard with your pencil, you're pressing lightly. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the next step. If you're struggling with this, I'm going to post the video later and you can try it again and resubmit, but we need to get moving here. Okay, So this time I'm gonna look at my mouse right here. This oval, it's a little bit sideways right here under the circle. And if yours runs off the page because you don't have enough room, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I'm looking to see where it starts. It starts right about here. So I'm going to practice in the air, kind of the shape of an oval to make a decision. And I'm going in different directions, practicing in the air. And now I'm going to try to hold my pencil towards the end, four fingers on one side, thumb on the other. And now I'm going to try to practice drawing that ellipse, that sideways ellipse. And I'm going over and over different directions, nice and light. I'm pretty happy with that. We must learn how to study and shade shapes before we ever get to letters and making them three-dimensional. All artists learn by shading spheres, cubes, cylinders, cones, and so that's how we're going to start this, the fundamentals of shading. One of the elements of art. We've learned about line, we've learned about shape, we've learned about form, drawing a form, and now we're learning about shading. So all of the ingredients from experiences from the past are building up to this point. It's very exciting. Okay, give me a yes when you're ready for the next step. We're waiting for a few more people. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now, I am going to draw about an inch up, roughly, and then I'm going to sketch a line across right here. It's a long, it almost looks like a ruler. And then in the middle, I'm going to draw a line on each side. So it kind of looks like a square in the middle. It's not going to be perfect. We're freehanding this. So I have a line in the middle. And then I'm going to do another line right here. And then another line right here.
Miss Brown, we can't see the second line. Your name is kind of blocking that black box over
I'm you can't see what.
there. The second line you drew. There we go. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know. So it's not perfect. You can see this one's kind of a rectangle. It's not the end of the world, but we're trying to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. So now I'm going to label those 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, Now that we have 5 squares and they're all labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to title this. This is called a value range, a value scale. Let me see. VALUE, and I'm going to write scale. SCALE, value scale. So we're making a visual value scale. When you're done, give me a yes so I know that you're done. I don't want to go too fast. Okay, so the very first one is number 1. We're going to leave that one alone. That one is white. But the number 2, I'm going to hold my pencil like I'm about to drop it. Hold it towards the end because I want it nice and light, and watch me. I'm barely grazing the paper using the side of my graphite pencil. Everybody should be using a number 2 wood pencil. We don't use mechanical pencils in drawing art because you can't use the side of it. And as light as possible, I shaded in that square. Then I'm going to go a little bit more pressure for number 3. I'm kind of doing circular motions to kind of get a little bit more of that graphite down on the paper. And I'm moving it in different directions, whatever works. It has to be noticeably darker than number 2. And then I'm going to do number 3. Now look, I put my pointer finger to put more pressure. I'm still holding it at the back. And that's going to help me put more pressure for number 4. Oh, it definitely helps make it look darker. And I'm using the side of the wood pencil. I'm going to tilt this so I can get a better angle. If I want to stay in the lines, I want it nice and neat. You do little circular motions. Ooh, I got a little drunk. I got out of the line. Try your best to make things nice and pretty, just like your teacher's examples. I'm doing a little circular motion. I don't want to see sloppy work. I had to sharpen my pencil. Not the best pencil sharpener, I'll tell you what. Ugh. Okay, and now I'm going to go as dark as I can without breaking my lead. More pressure for number 5. We want it to be noticeably darker than number 4. I'm going to rotate my paper. I'm trying to stay neat. I don't ever want to smear my hand into the graphite. We don't want it smudgy. You're always using the side of the pencil. Mechanical pencils are way too pointy and hard and heavy, and they dig in on the paper. I hate mechanical pencils. They're great for taking notes, but they're not good for drawing. They're not good for shading, not if you want to do a quality job. I don't want to bend my paper. I want it nice and neat. Now that's a pretty good value range. I could easily see that one is white, number two is barely any gray, number three is a little bit darker, number four is darker than that, and then number five is really dark. So that's our value range, value scale. Please give me a thumbs up when you're done. A yes. Okay, it seems like we're pretty much ready. There's still a few stragglers, but we need to move on. All right. So the next step is what we're gonna do is shade a number five. This is a number five, pretty dark. Watch me first, a sideways happy face. Notice how I put my pointer finger as forward as possible because I want to go dark. So I'm just kind of framing the area that I want to shade nice and dark so that I don't get drunk and go outside the lines. Now I'm going to go as dark as I can with the side of my pencil. And I'm filling that in with a number 5 value. You can go ahead and start. I use circular motions so that I don't do a hard corner. I rotate in circles. Let me see if I can zoom in further. Little circles using the side of my pencil. Side to side, a curve always works nicely. You want to stay in the lines. You don't want to look harsh. You know when they say color inside the lines? We are basically shading inside the lines. I'm going to rotate this because my hand doesn't want to turn that way. So I'm rotating my paper. Little circles. Try to get it nice and neat. I'm evening out my circle until ellipse shape here. I'm pretty happy with that. I'll give you some time. Now, when you are done, we're going to label that. And that is going to be, let's see, how can I make this nice and pretty? Cast shadow. And I'm going to put a little arrow pointing up to the cast shadow. Okay. I think that's a lot for one day. I'm pretty happy about that. So what I'm going to have you do is photograph that and you're going to submit that for your proof of practice. Let me go ahead and how do I do this? Minimize this. Um, I don't want it so you guys can't see. So let me do that. Doesn't. So I go to classwork. I'm going to create a proof of practice. I'm going to make some adjustments. So photo of notes. And this is Thursday. And it's 5 points. Scooch this over. And it's due by the end of the period. Since this is fourth period, it's due at 9:50. Wait, no, that's not what time this class is. What time is class? 12:03. If you turn in slightly late or later today, that's okay. I understand. But get it done today so I can grade it. Fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys do that. While you're doing that, I'm going to do the assignments for the other periods so that I know that we are all on the same page, because sometimes I forget to do it if I do it later. Any questions before I let you all go? All right, have a great day. Please submit this.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye, you too. Thank you.
Bye, Miss Brown. Have a nice day.
Bye, you too. Thank you, ladies.
Miss Brown.
Yes, let me pause turn off the video.